Opening day, Wisconsin, 2025 buck. Starting with an hour before shooting light, I put a post on Facebook. I have an hour to kill. 12 minutes past first shooting light had me in the parking lot at Quick Trip, sipping on a Karuba coffee. Well, rest of these guys all pounded her. I decided I'm just going to take it easy and I'm going to find out where all the hunters are. And besides that, it was very calm in the morning, and I can just imagine as they're walking in, every deer within a couple hundred yards knew they were there. So I didn't want to be part of that crowd. I drove around two of the public land pieces nearest to my city, and the first one had a lot of vehicles. And a couple parking lots had 8, one had 9, and then half a dozen to 2 or 3. One parking lot had none, and I did have a couple spots to hunt there, and it was an interesting spot. I did have decent bucks on my trail cameras there, but it was the wrong wind, so I kept right on looking around. I was thinking I have 47 different spots that I can think of that I hunted in these two pieces. So I could go anywhere I wanted, depending on the wind and where all the other hunters were. The goal was to go where there were the least amount of hunters. And after I did the first piece, I went to the second, which is a larger area, spanning 2 counties. And the first piece had a lot of cars. There was one small piece that's kind of isolated, only had one vehicle. And I never hunted it, so I went by it. The wind was right for it, but I didn't want to hunt it. And then I went around the largest piece, and all were there, the vehicles. And it was all concentrated around the edges, around the outside of it. The center, I could see orange all over the place because there's not a lot of trees. And the center didn't seem like it had many hunters. I could see 3. And I did have a setup there that I made August 1st. Some of the highlights of driving around was there was a couple of does in the middle of a plowed field sitting there, which probably was the safest place for them. Amish with their new types of horsepower running on diesel, and a video of that. And there were little goats that ran across the road in front of me, and I called them pygmy deer. And the goats got me thinking, I'm getting pretty hungry. Probably getting 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I drove to the nearest town and I ate breakfast. So here it is, opening day, rifle season. I'm in a restaurant at 8:30, 9 o'clock, eating breakfast. And I ordered a double order of goat meat with my eggs, poached eggs. So then I made my decision. I was going to hunt that middle where I saw the least amount of hunters. And the issue was, from the parking area, the wind was blowing in towards it. But I had a strategy. I walked down the road quite a bit, and then I walked in and I J-hooked back around all that thick brush where I knew there was bedding. And I had a setup. I also had a trail camera there. And I bypassed the trail camera area because there was a lot of deer sign there. I even skirted around that and came into the tree. And I set up. I was set up about 11:30. And it was about 2 o'clock when I began to doubt. Because, you don't see any deer, and you start doubting. And, of course, now that I'm up in the tree, I can see around. And, there's another nice looking, that looks like a pinch point over there. And, wouldn't those deer want to run across the canary grass opening there at that narrow spot? And, I thought about it for a little bit, and no, I'm already set up here. I'm sticking it out. This is a good spot. I seen some fresh sign coming in. I kicked out a buck coming in, a nice one. If I was a jump shooter, I would have definitely got a shot. I'd probably had 3-4 seconds, but I just can't react that fast. I got to think a little bit before I shoot. And then I kicked out another deer that I didn't see on my way in. And then about 3:30, a deer come in right under my stand, and it was a spike buck. And I have him on the video camera, or on the trail camera. And he was right underneath me, and I was back in there quite a bit. And there's a lot of tall canary grass to drag him out through, and that's a tough drag. And I'm not dragging out Spike. And then shortly after that, a couple fawns come out. Didn't have their mother around. They were jumping around and playing all over the place. I got those on video camera, or on trail camera too. And then at 4:31, plenty of time before the last shooting minute, a deer crosses an open spot where there's canary grass, and it was heading for where the fawns went to. I thought, well, that must be the mother. just got done mating or whatever, you know. But it was this guy right here, this buck, 16-inch spread, by the way, and he's got pretty good bases, so he might be a 3.5-year-old. And he come through there, and he's on trail camera, and then he come out and he popped out right below me, and I thought it was the doe. I couldn't see antlers. I thought it was a doe, and I got my camera up, and then for some reason, I don't know why I did this, I can't think, you know, it's probably jacked up, right, but I turned the video record off just as he cleared the tree, so you can see him on that recording, and I turned it off, and then I turned it back on. Of course, I knew it was a buck, so now I'm holding the camera or the phone in my hand, and damn the camera, but I got to shoot him, right? I didn't have my camera arm with me, so I put the camera in my pocket, and I grabbed the gun, and he's walking pretty fast, but he's right below me. I mean, he's 20 yards away. Could have shot him with the bow. And I get the gun up, and I, you know, aimed, and I fired, and the safety was on. It goes click. You can hear the audio of that on my phone. But that actually stopped the buck, and he turned around and looked at me. He gave me plenty of time to click the safety off and then line it up and shoot him again. And the bullet went right through both of his lungs, come out the front shoulder because he was quartering away. And I watched him run about 100 yards, and I saw this tail. And I've seen that before. He fell over right there. It was quite a few hours to drag him out. I laid down a couple times to rest in the canary grass, and there was bright stars, and I got some video of it from my phone. By the way, I don't know how to transfer those videos from the phone to my computer. It shows up as a blank file, so I'm not sure. I got to get an app or what. But and I haven't been that interested in making videos lately. But the last time I laid down there, and I'm looking at the stars, and it was so peaceful, and all of a sudden I was starting to fall asleep. This is after, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 hours that it took me to drag him, but I startled myself awake, and I can't fall asleep, and you know, I'll freeze to death. So I drug him, and I got him to a spot where I could get to the car to him. So that's the story. Now I'm letting him age in the garage. It's cold. It's getting cold. On Saturday it'll start freezing, but the garage here should stay a little warmer for a while. I like aging them for at least a week. One time I aged a doe for a whole month. Oh, that was some tender meat. So that's my story. Next up, you're going to see the videos that I recorded on the trail camera next door, including seeing this guy. Okay, and he's a beast. He's a big one. Took some time for me to drag out. Lots of weight to him. Okay, now you can watch the trail camera videos. Thanks for watching. can change the card.